Rand Water says it is on track with its planned maintenance on critical infrastructure. The project is aimed at increasing supply ahead of the summer season when demand usually surges. Low to no water supply is expected in parts of Gauteng and in neighbouring provinces between tomorrow and the 2nd of June. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala has the details for us and she joins us now live. Nqobile, there's been a lot of criticism, hasn't there, about just how this process was explained to residents?
Well, definitely, Michelle. A lot of people are still questioning also the supply that they're getting at this very moment. But of course, they are worried about the maintenance itself, that as there's maintenance that is taking place, how are they supposed to be able to keep water or to try and get some water when they don't have it to start with? Now, we know this is going to affect various cities. We know also it's going to affect about 4 provinces. This includes Johannesburg is one of those cities that are going to be affected, as we know that Ekurhuleni has already started with that service. But now I want to actually bring in Joburg Water to speak to us about this. It's obviously very difficult for a lot of people to comprehend how this is going to work. Perhaps just break it down to us. How is this going to work in terms of the Joburg, the city of Johannesburg?
Sure. Thank you so much, Nqobile, and good morning to the viewers and the residents of Johannesburg. So the Rand Water maintenance will affect Johannesburg in phases. So the first phase of the maintenance will affect us on the 3rd of June, which is on Tuesday, and not all areas will be impacted. So our systems that will be affected on the 3rd of June are Sandton, Midrand, Alexander Park, which is to the east of the city, so that's Bertram, Space Valley, Kensington and surrounding suburbs, South Hills towards the south, so that's Rizana, The Hill, Rosettenville, Linksfield and then Rangislachte. So those areas will be impacted on the 3rd of June, where from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. pumping will be reduced for 10 hours for 67%. For residents, this means that they will either have low water pressure or no water. Hence, we've been encouraging residents to store water ahead of that maintenance. And as you know, even after Rand Water completes, our systems do take time to recover. Hence, some people may not have water immediately after Rand Water completes.
And what does this mean for the infrastructure specifically?
It's really good for the infrastructure because I do know, and we always say we've got aging infrastructure in the city of Johannesburg, and with our bulk supplier Rand Water doing this infrastructure to improve reliability, to improve just the functioning of our water infrastructure, it's really good that we get to have this major planned maintenance from Rand Water.
Nombuso, we know that a lot of residents rely on the water tankers to be able to perhaps provide water for them. But in this case, the issue is some places may not even see those tankers, especially in the communities that we have been to this morning.
So what we are doing in preparation for the maintenance, we are working closely with ward councillors in terms of them helping us position the location of the water tankers. So what we will do, though, there are areas that are critical and there are areas that take a priority, like hospitals, clinics, schools, old age homes. They will have stationary water tankers, so they don't have to go with buckets and follow roaming water tankers. Then there will be roaming water tankers that will go to various streets. So we're working with ward councillors of the affected areas because they know their areas very well, and then they'll also be able to filter down the information to their constituencies in terms of available water, alternative water supply through tankers.
And just perhaps lastly, because we were speaking to some of your residents that are under the commando system, they haven't had water at this point. Now we are headed to maintenance. They haven't even had water to be able to keep.
So our commando system has had problems historically, and as you were mentioning before we started with this interview, that they have been receiving intermittent water supply, and that is largely due to the aging infrastructure. So there are currently projects that are on the go in that supply zone. So the building of the Brixton Tower and Reservoir, which I think you were there when we took the media and the mayor was there, that will be completed at the end of June, and it is hoped with that completion, it will boost supply in that area. There are also projects in Crosby, which is within the supply zone, and it's also because our Hurstville reservoir has been prioritized as part of our leaking reservoirs program.
Okay. So what emergency solution do you have for them?
So we have alternative water supply for them, especially with the maintenance coming up.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Michelle, it's going to be a lot of days that are going to be critical for the communities in various cities, especially in Gauteng. We know that Ekurhuleni is one of those cities, Johannesburg is one of those cities, and we are hearing that there will be little to no water. There are already places where there isn't water right now, and there is a need for them to be provided water. So people are anxious with regards to this maintenance. However, they are aware how important it is to keep the infrastructure in its greatest form.